This is the lens that it actually gets incorporated into. Here you can see light coming out of the ends of those two fibers. This is a series of interchangeable objective lenses that we developed for a video probe. So located back here are some other lens elements, and then there's a 1/10" image sensor right here. The whole probe is 6mm diameter. Each tip has 2 fiber optics in it, 2 or 3 lens elements. The right angle ones obviously have a prism. And there's a rotating thimble here for quickly interchanging the lenses on the tip of the video probe. These are used for things like jet turbine inspection, looking for weld cracks. They go through through inspection holes in diesel locomotive engines, looking for combustion issues in those, and technology could certainly be adapted for medical applications, though this company hasn't done that. This is another example of one of Precision. Oh, sorry, this is not Precision. This is one of Jim's products from Myriad Fiber Imaging. This is a flexible fiber scope, as Jim had mentioned. This one happens to be 0.5mm diameter, not quite their smallest, which is 0.35mm. Here's not a great image of the distal tip lit up, working end lit up between my fingers. So it's very small, but it's got a lot of light coming out of it, and it uses I think a 0.25mm diameter self-op lens on the tip and a 3,000 pixel fused silica image guide to transmit the image from one end to the end, from the viewing end, from the object end up to the viewing end, where they have a focusing eyepiece, and they also offer couplers to hook up a camera. This is a spinning optical probe that we developed also for optical cancer detection, this time in the endocervix. So what we have here is a handheld instrument. It has a malleable shaft, and it has a fiber optic probe with an inflatable balloon on it. And so this handle and malleable shaft are used to position the probe at the entrance to the endocervix. When that is in place, then the probe is advanced into the duct-like endocervix. The balloon is inflated, and then these control handles are used to cause this prism to spin and simultaneously be drawn back inside the balloon. So you're basically probing a helix inside this duct and collecting the data as you go. It's a 400 micron silica fiber. This would be a good use for one of Joe's small prisms. The whole probe diameter is about 2mm diameter. And this is used for optical cancer detection, as I mentioned. This is probably one of the world's smallest cameras using conventional technologies, that is, not wafer-level camera. So this has a conventional CMOS imager here, ground glass objective lenses, actually some LEDs mounted on this board here. There's a ceramic substrate for the imager with a ball grid array in the back going onto this PCB. And then the PCB is bonded to a flex circuit, which provides the interconnects. And these flexes are then folded, and this entire thing is stuffed into a 1.5mm diameter tube, making for a very, very tiny endoscope. This is produced by Task Microelectronics up in Canada. Most people have heard about these pill cams. This is one from Given Imaging, the leader in that area. It measures about 11 by 26mm, the size of a horse pill. And that sounds awfully big, but believe it or not, these are prescribed children as young as 2 years old. Apparently they can get them down. They have a new version out that actually has optics at both ends, and that's used for taking a video of the esophagus as it's very slowly swallowed. I'm not sure quite how they make it go down slowly, but it takes apparently a half hour. 18 images per second goes down the esophagus. And this, the one that's shown on the screen is used to take images through the GI tract. It takes about 8 hours to pass through. Captures 50,000 images along its way. Hell of a video. This is a video laryngoscope that we developed for an airway management company. I have a sample of that here, and this is comprised of two parts. There's a reusable display and electronics and battery-powered source here. It sells for about $500. And then there is a disposable blade that actually contains a complete camera and illumination system and a flex circuit that brings the electrical connections up to the display. And this is used for endotracheal intubation. So basically it's used to guide a tube as it's placed through the trachea. And in particular, it's used for, in present use, about 10% of intubations become what's called difficult. They can't get the tube through the vocal cords. And when that happens, they have to go scrambling. They have to find a device that helps them see down in there. Oftentimes that means going and finding the pulmonologist and getting him to come down to the OR with his bronchoscope. He puts the bronchoscope through the tube and can place it that way. Very expensive, $30,000 instrument. He doesn't like to do it. He may not be available. So the model here is that they've made this so inexpensive that you can use this for every intubation. So you don't get difficult intubations. They all become routine. So this has also a 3-element all plastic objective lens, white LED illumination, has an anti-fog coated window on the end. Think about it, it's going down the throat, it's getting breathed on. Can't be fogging up. VGA kind of resolution, great depth of field. Sell price under $25. Complete disposable camera. This is another project that we've been working on, actually under funding from the National Institutes of Health. It's a battery-powered, internet-enabled, handheld, wireless retinal camera. And the key thing is that it doesn't require dilation, which means that you no longer need a doctor present to use this device. This is being developed mainly to address the needs of diabetic retinopathy. A lot of diabetics don't go to see eye doctors. Diabetic retinopathy is avoidable. It's very treatable by drugs if it's discovered early. But a lot of diabetics don't go to see eye specialists that have these fundus cameras because they're not very mobile, they live in remote areas, they just won't deal with it. So the idea here is we take the camera to the patient rather than the patient to the camera. Images can be captured. It's basically a point and shoot, very fast, so that images can be captured easily by a low-skilled operator. Images are then transmitted over the internet to a reading center where they're interpreted by a retinal specialist, and the diagnosis comes down to the referring physician. So it's a great model, and we're actually working with Alan over here from the New England College of Optometry to get this design finished up. One of the enabling technologies here is a liquid lens. And we use this because it's a very fast way of doing autofocusing. And this is one of the keys here is because there's no dilation required, we have to be able to illuminate the entire retina and capture a high resolution image all through an external pupil that only measures 3 millimeters in diameter, with a highly reflecting curved surface in front of it, cornea. It's a very challenging optical design to pull off. So the reflections are dealt with by some apodization, some interesting polarization techniques, some confocal design features, and then the autofocusing makes sure that when the entrance pupil of the camera aligns with the pupil of the eye, boom, we can capture our images very quickly. And a liquid lens works on the principle of electrowetting. So by applying a potential, a voltage, across these two plates, the shape of this polymer lens, liquid lens, is changed. And it's very fast, millisecond kind of response time. This is that assembly. And in this case, they put I guess they're pretty full lens barrel on it. And they're moving that relative to the imager back here. And this makes for a quite compact little, either this could be an autofocus camera, or it could be a zoom camera, depending on how you configure the optics. Potentially both if you had two carriages in there. So, very, very small. Think about the size of any zoom camera that you've ever seen. So what is coming next? There's a few devices in development that are pretty cool, especially in the area of in vivo imaging. This is an anchorable pill cam being worked on a Carnegie Mellon. It's got these deployable anchors that come out. And one of the issues with capsule endoscopy is that you can't control the movement of the pill cam. It moves around by peristalsis or patient movement. And so this gives them the ability to anchor it on demand.
You can go up and down.
It's just an anchor. It just comes. These things just come out and they attach it to the wall so they can take an image and close them and continue.
Yeah. If you want to repeat,
not with this. There's another one. This is a self-assembling robot from MIT. So each of these components right here are swallowable. Then these magnets are swallowable. So they all end up in your stomach and they self-assemble. There's only one way they can go together. And with random movements, they will self-assemble. So this could be a camera, this could be electronics, this could be a power supply.
How do they come apart?
That's right. It'll be interesting going through security at the airport. And you were asking about can you navigate a pill cam. The next thing on that is going to be magnetically steerable cameras, where magnets are added to this and either by manipulating manual, like rare earth magnets outside the body, or using electromagnets, or adapting an MRI machine in some way to just actually drive the thing through the colon. It's all being